This is my 2019 Alfa Romeo Giulia Veloce. And the biggest running cost for me while owning this car has got to be the insurance. For the longest time with my previous car, the Subaru WRX, most insurers didn't want to insure me because I'm under 30. And the insurers that would insure me under the car wanted to charge me an arm and a leg. This car is so much worse to insure. It's about $600 to $700 more to insure compared to my WRX. Part of the reason I think is because you don't see a lot of these on the road, at least not on Sydney roads anyway. The parts for these cars are also really expensive. If you needed to buy parts and they're not in stock in Australia, we have to wait months for it to come from Italy. Hard to find, very high cost, and these not being a very popular car, that drives the price of the insurance up. Now, a lot of these cars that do get into accidents just get written off by the insurers. So you really should protect yourself with a dash cam. And that's why in this episode, I'm welcoming VIOFO as brand new channel supporters. They've sent me out a dash cam kit to install on the Alfa Romeo Giulia and to help me protect myself and my car during the insurance process if an accident were to happen. In this episode of MDTV, I want to show you how to properly install a dash cam kit in your Alfa Romeo Giulia, but this method is also going to work with other cars as well. In the description box, I want to put the link to the product from VIOFO that you can purchase, and VIOFO have also kindly provided a discount code to help the MDTV viewers and subscribers with their purchase as well. Let's head back to the driveway and I'll show you how to properly install and wire a dash cam to your car. All right, first let's do an unboxing of what VIOFO have sent me. Obviously we've got the full camera, front camera, we've got the reverse camera as well. The hard wiring harness kit, definitely need one of those. They've also sent me a high endurance SD card, which is much appreciated. A circular polarizing lens to get rid of some of the glare, and this wireless Bluetooth remote controller. I've got no idea how to use this, but we'll find out together. What else are you going to need? You need some wire strippers, you need some fuse taps for your appropriate car, and I'll show you how to use that later. I got that just in case, and some pliers. This one actually comes with a third camera, and that camera is to point into the cabin. I'm not sure how useful that is going to be or who's going to find that useful, probably Uber drivers. But what we're mostly interested in is this, the main camera. It's got a screen on it as well. And the camera changes angles, which is pretty cool. Underneath it, here we've got some wiring to go into the cigarette lighter. And this one goes to the interior camera, that third one there. And it's USB-C powered, which is pretty cool. Then we have a look at the remote camera. And inside here, got the harness to go all the way to the back of the car as well. And I'll show you how to do all of that. Got the hard wiring kit. Tap into the fuse box so that this can run 24/7. And I'll show you exactly how to do that as well. It's fairly easy. It's completely reversible, all plug and play. Don't need to cut into any of the existing wire. And if you want to sell your car, you can just remove this as well. First thing we've got to do though is check that all of this works. So what I'm going to do is connect all the cameras together, and then I'm going to power it with the cigarette lighter, and to make sure that it all works. After I make sure that it all works, I will then hardwire it. So what I've done here is plug the camera into the cigarette lighter, and then I've plugged the rear camera in as well. Then now I want to turn on my car to make sure that this works. And there is power. It's on, yay. Just got to go through the settings. Oh, hey, g'day mate. Oh, I can see myself in the rear camera. I know that works now, so that's good. And then get into the hard wiring and all that stuff now. Let's go. Next thing we're going to do here is work on our hard wiring kit. So it comes with the ground. So you've got the yellow for accessory that turns on when the car turns on. Then you've got red for battery, and that is always on in the background even when the car is not operating. But obviously you can't just plug it into the car like that. So here's what we're going to do. You need some wire strippers, and I picked up a whole bunch of these fuse taps from AliExpress. They were like $10. I don't know how many I got quite a lot, more than enough. All right, you can just put the wires in there to crimp it, but that's not very secure. So I want to show you a better way to do it. Get your wire strippers, just cut that off, and then strip the wires. Over in here, strip the wires. And I also bought, I don't know what these are called, but they're a plastic tube, heat shrink plastic tube, and that metal in there, right in the middle, that is some low melting point metal. And that kind of solders and holds everything together. This bag I got for a few dollars off of AliExpress. They're very expensive if you buy it from your electronic hardware shop. I got these for only a few bucks. So I need two, and I'll show you how to use it. Put this over one of the wires like that, And let's say I'm working on this yellow one, which I am. What I want to do is just twist it together like that, as you would normally do to join it. Hold that over there. Make sure that the metal bit is right directly above the bits of wire, and then you use your lighter, hold it over that, and it will heat shrink for you, and it will melt the metal, and the metal will solder and hold all of the wires together. You can put 2, 3 wires, whatever you want in there. Do this in an open environment because you are burning plastic, you don't want to breathe it in. And then that's what it looks like at the end. Let's see if it can focus. Nope, probably can't focus. Solder it together like that, and then you're all good to go. So now the next part, go to the passenger side. There's the fuse box, and you undo the panel for the fuse box. So here you're going to take out 2 blue fuses. There's only 2. The one at the top, the one down the bottom. The one at the top, that is for your accessory, so that only turns on when the car turns on. And then that one for the bottom, that is on all the time. So you would use this for your battery power. So use your pliers, pull it out, and then your ground wire can go just behind this over there. Just where this bolt and nut is, your ground wire, just undo that, your ground wire can go under there, or you can put it here and then find another nut yourself and then secure it there. Back with the fuse taps, they're both 15 amp fuses, so it doesn't matter where you put it, but there are 2 slots. So with the slot at the front, you put the original fuse for the fuse box in there, and then you put a new fuse for the accessory you're using into the fuse tap at the back. So I'm just going to press this in. It's a very snug fit, so it should be, so it doesn't fly around. And when you buy these fuse taps, normally they come with extra fuses, so you just shove it in. So remember, up the top is accessory, so you put this one at the top, and the fuse position down the bottom will be for your battery. Then you find a place to mount your dash cam. I think I'm going to mount mine right about there, to the left or the passenger side. This is from the previous owner, and I can't get this off. If anyone knows how to get it off, please let me know. But I think I'm going to leave the dash cam right about there, and then run the wires all the way up through there. I finally got it off. I've been trying for ages, I just couldn't pull it off. So I used a razor and a bottle of Dissolve It to dry up the adhesive and then just crack it off. After that, clean that area with isopropyl alcohol, and then we're going to try to run the wire through here and then through the A pillar and then down there. And I'll show you how to do it. So we're going to have to take off this molding, just pull it off with your hand. So easy. And we're going to undo our wiring. We don't need that much or up in the top of the windshield. We just need enough to go to the dash cam. So we're going to have to pull this out. It has to go behind the airbags so that it doesn't stop the curtain from going down in case of an emergency. So if you have a look through here, bend it back, you can kind of see a crack. So I need to use 2 hands, one to bend this back and the other one to feed the wire through to the other side. Oh, there you go. Oh, alright, so you just pull that off. So you just pull it straight with 2 hands and then it'll come off. So here's the curtain airbag. It has to go way behind it. Make sure it goes behind the airbag. Pull it through as much as you need. Alright, so that's probably all I'm going to need. And we'll worry about tucking that in later. But that's all I need there. So now here, we're just going to tuck this in there, trying not to get in the way of the curtain, and then you can just push it back in to clip it, but we're not going to push it in just yet. We want to worry about this bit down there. So we need to get to the fuse box down there, and we probably have to take this apart. Okay, get the other end of your wiring kit and just slot it through towards the bottom. Or what you can do is just feed it through this way. Yeah, feed it through in between, and then we're going to work on the passenger footwell. So now that we're back here, remember the accessory wire or the yellow wire, that fuse will go up to there. Okay. And the red wire for the battery will go back down that way. For the ground, we're going to undo that bolt. That's a 10mm bolt. If you've got an extension, use an extension. I did. So with this hardwiring kit, it's really nice. It's already got that. So just feed it behind the bolt like that, and then you can tighten it up. It looks so messy, but the next thing you want to do is test it before you put everything back together, because especially with electronics and the wiring, so the floor, I've still left it like that. The last thing you want to do is put everything back together and then it doesn't work. So here's the dash cam. I want to test it. Make sure you put in the SD card. Could be any generic SD card, but make sure it's a high quality one. Alright, so let's give it a go. I'll plug it in. And there's already power, which is good. I'll turn on the car. Yeah, that works.
Recording. One channel started.
Yeah, good. So it's recording. What if I turn the car off? Does it still record? Let's see. So the car is off.
Parking recording started.
Oh, nice. Parking recording started. So I'm going to find a place. I've already wiped it with alcohol. I think I'm going to mount it there. Okay, I've mounted that in. And then I can move the lens up and down. Cool. And then now time to tidy it up. I've just tucked it in there. Then I tuck it in where the kick panel is. Behind all of that, there's so much space in this car. It's very easy to do. And then you just close it up, put the panel back there, and then we're good to go. So I've tied up all the wiring with the cable tie, and then we just put it there. And then I can put the panel back on. Right, so the wiring alongside the airbags there, and that should be good. Now we're gonna do the rear camera. I've already tested the rear camera, we know it works, so I'm just gonna get this and wire it from the front to the back. Wire for the back, same thing, just tuck it under there, feed it through there, and then under through there. Make sure you're not in the way of the airbag. You can see the wire there, and it's not in the way of the airbag. So taking out the molding, and I've tucked the excess in here because there's a lot of room and there's no airbag right there. And then you just feed it in between the cracks, push it behind there just like the front, and I've left that out there, and then we'll connect the rear camera in just a bit. I think this is the center of the car, so probably going to be in line with that. And then you're done with the rear camera. Put the molding back on, and then we'll have a look at the functionality of the dash cam. Alright, so that's very neat. Right in the center, just tuck the cables in the back there, just like the front. Had to turn on the car a little bit so that I'm not draining all the battery. Hey, there we go, that's good. So I need to stop recording before I can go into Wi-Fi settings. And then I'll join that on my phone. So we can download the app and then stream everything on the app, I'm guessing. But let's have a look at the settings through here first. You can change the resolution. G sensor. There's even HDR and exposure settings, that's pretty good. Time-lapse recording. Parking mode, very good. Just leave everything as default. Oh, you could even stamp your number plate, cool. Nice, that's all working. Nice. Very nice. Let's see what this thing does. Oh, there's a battery. I wonder if there's a battery in it already. There should be. Just reading the instructions here, and this is actually quite useful. By pressing the button in here, it's actually locking the video files that have been recorded, and it stops it from being overridden because the dash cam records in a loop. So if you lock the file, it doesn't get overridden and it doesn't get deleted, which is pretty good actually. On the side there are buttons. So this top one we can use to turn off the microphone, to stop the microphone recording. And for this button here, we can program in the menu. We can program in the menu there to do all of these functions here. Pretty useful. Maybe I'll just stick it here or on the side somewhere, do a stealth mount. Just in case something happens, I can press the button and it will save the file or lock the file from being overridden. You can also get this circular polarizer from VIOFO to reduce the glare from the windshield. And you literally just put that on top like that. Very easy. Push it on and then it'll reduce the glare. There you go. Such a simple install. The VIOFO dash cams I think are such good bang for buck because the dash cams use the Sony Starvis sensors that almost every other dash cam uses, even the dash cam that are 3-4 times the price of the VIOFO. Up on the screen, I'm going to put up some actual dash cam footage in this car in the day or in the night. The quality is actually really good. Obviously, it's no digital camera like the one I'm filming with now, but for insurance purposes, it's very clear, it's very good. It also tags your GPS, it also tags your number plate and your speed as well. If you found this video useful, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks again to VIOFO for coming on board as channel supporters. We've got the discount code on the screen and in the description box below. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next episode of MDTV.